So for my aquarium project, I have 3 colorful fish, bubbles, a no fishing sign, seaweed, and 2 gold stars on the bottom floor. We have fish that are drawn out using circles and triangles, each with like different size variation and color combination. The bubbles rise above each fish to, make it seem more realistic. The sign slightly tilted with like lettering, just a fun touch to it. And like the seaweed at the bottom just shows that like there's life in the environment besides the fish already there. The steps I took to help make this project, I first had to design the drawing out on paper. Took a couple tries. At first I didn't know how many fish I wanted and, what I wanted to add to make it seem more fun for me and make it more appealing to the audience. So that's how I ended up coming down to, 3 fish, different colors, different sizes, different shapes. I then had to like break down the drawings into like simple shapes to not make it hard to code it. So like the circle for like the fish bodies, the triangles for the tails, and the rectangles for the sign. I then had to like write the functions like draw underscore circle underscore shape and draw underscore square underscore shape and draw underscore triangle underscore shape. And just after testing this, I had to make them bigger, like the fish and the sign. I then just had to change the colors, and the shape, the colors, the rotations, the positions, not make it all seem alike. I wanted, just make it different, unique. And then I added the randomized bubbles and the seaweed at like a different height, just make more of a realistic feeling. Once again, I keep repeating. Like how I broke it down, I already said the draw, circle, triangle shape, and like how the circle shape was used to like make the bubbles and the fish body, how the triangle shape was used to make the fish tails. I had to draw a star to, add decoration to the ocean floor, represent like that, like starfish kind of. But it was kind of its own little touch. The sign, you had to make the sign with the draw underscore sign function. Use the no fishing text and have it display exactly on the sign. We had to make the seaweed plants realistic, make it wavy. On the bottom floor, make it green. That's how seaweed is, green. For the fish, you just had to combine the circles and the triangles together because the circle is the body, triangle's the tail, so you had to connect those. You make it all one fish. And then, I just had to have a main function that just puts everything together. It sets up like the turtle, how previously we had the turtle function. And, it just calls all the functions in order to make it all work out. So one of the complicated functions that I had to go through was to draw a fish with its body, size, color, and tail color. You had to get the right parameters for the size and the colors of the fish. It wasn't easy to, fill in the body with the right color. And, it took a lot of time just tweaking and adjusting how certain words in my code and certain numbers in my code would affect the output of it. That I had to take into account. I had to rotate the turtle, not the turtle, the fish, to, not make it all alike and all on the same level. And so from that, it really taught me how to take in the importance of functions when it comes to organizing your code and avoiding repetition. I learned that I had to use loops, color fills, and movement commands to help make it seem more realistic. And that the small changes really do make a big difference in like how like certain shapes like align carefully. I understand that if my body size too big and my tail is even bigger, that makes my fish less realistic. So I take that into account. Also, I had to practice, debugging my code, just looking over it again and again and again, just showing that constant repetition of looking over my work and adjusting it to make it how I wanted it. And that's something I learned from it. And it really shows me how to, think like a programmer down the line. I know I want to be a software engineer, so, it's going to take a lot. And really analyzing the code and looking at all the small things and details so my output isn't insufficient. So, just breaking bigger problems down into smaller steps and then combining it all together so I just understand what's going on. But, that's just how my aquarium project did. I enjoyed it. And yeah.